Hello. Alright, so I'm trying to do a live journal for morning and night, so twice a day. This will be the night journal for me. It is started 12:12, I believe, 12:13 a.m. So it's at night, but technically, morning, whatever. I believe the lion's mane mushroom is definitely helping. I believe the stuff I was feeling earlier today uh, may have been potential proof of damage. Definitely made me afraid. I started to feel the need to talk about it to my mother. It didn't go over very well. I wrote down in her notes my thoughts and feelings. As I saw how I did things. She didn't like that. We became resigned when I started talking about the idea of talking about it with my counselor. It's rough. It's very rough. I do believe the lion's mane mushroom is helping me out tremendously, though. Stuff that I used to have no feeling on my body is coming back. Muscle movement and relaxation is coming back. Actual eyesight is coming back. I can take my glasses off and start to concentrate my eyes. I feel like in a few months we'll see where it goes to. We'll see how significantly whatever it was that is inside of me or something else toxic that was being given to me continues to occur. It is possible all of this is a autoimmune trigger response stemming from the initial bacterial or viral cold or flu, respectively. That occurred when I was younger that actually gave me worse hearing afterwards. I distinctively remember having worse hearing afterwards. I also distinctively remember having trouble remembering where I was and who I was and other stuff. So I believe there to be brain damage as well. Potential brain damage from this event. Could could be as a result of the immune response. It could have been that I never really got rid of it. I just grew up with it. There's a few things that are possible. Possible I got sick, just carried around with me. I doubt that. To me, a more likely explanation is a stressed autoimmune response. When I get too stressed, or I feel too impending doom, gloom, or whatever, my immune system responds in an extremely aggressive manner and actually harms my nerves. I believe it's occurred multiple times, and it can go into aggression. I would definitely like to get some autoimmune disease tested. I am also aware that it's possible that I will not be able to do this due to insurance reasons. However, I will go under the assumption proceeding forward, using best practices to reduce stress and anxiety, increase overall healthy gut microbiome, and good immune system practice by proper sleep, hygiene, and appropriate exercise and diet, hopefully. Currently making a bit of a kombucha coffee herb tea thing. I put my spit in it. I put some liquid. There's this stuff that are like filled with probiotics. And a mango, pineapple, juice, and blueberry acai juice inside of it, along with some grapefruit juice. There's a lot of sugars. There's a bit of alcohol from whiskey and some stuff from my leftover thing of essentially pot tea. I put that in there, and I put just recently the leftover pot leaves, and there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. It's not as simple as just saying, oh, there's nothing. I didn't, put a concoction together. I'm hoping that consistently reintroducing something that could potentially both positive gut microbes and negative gut microbes, that potentially them gaining from each other, and the negative gut microbes being as a result of in my mouth and me consistently swallowing them through my stomach, ultimately treating them, they will become slightly more resilient, but constantly fighting that, I believe, will hopefully give my immune system something to be aiming towards for the moment. Reduce stress, better sleep, good mental health treatment plan, diet, exercise. Yeah. There's a lot there that needs to get done. So I'm trying my best, step by step. Eventually, I'll hopefully figure it out. Did realize today through the argument with my mom that I want her to validate a lot of what I say or what I'm talking about. And I want her to care, and those are my expectations. But also, I need to realize that that they're kind of my needs for right now. The person I am right now, they're kind of my needs. I need stuff validated, at least a little bit. Completely not validating anything I was saying, just ignoring it, moving on. And when it just gets brushed aside, giving examples of how it could be wrong. Yeah, it's just hurtful. It's a little hurtful. It's a little rough. It's a bit rough. But it did make me realize I need to start trying to self-validate what I feel. Just give them a heads up and not expect anything more than that. Because that's all I need to do. So, as in, absolutely no expectations of them. Also, not allowing their negative emotions or words or feelings they express change. Hopefully, not to have them change my own emotional state. Yes, it's difficult. Everything is difficult. Not everything, but it's hard. It's hard. I'm excited for the coming future. I want to continue forward with a lot of what I'm currently doing. But I would also prefer it if I could get along a little faster. I don't know. And maybe have them stick. I'm also very well aware that if what I'm thinking is true, that my psoriasis is attacking certain nerve endings as a stress response or as an overreactive immune response during being sick and feeling stressed while being sick emotionally might trigger the immune system to go haywire. That's not good because it might be getting progressively worse. It might be getting worse. I know this is hypochondriac and I have no idea. However, again, I'm well aware. I need to get it tested and all this. But if it is what I'm saying is true, then I also need to be careful and at least proceed with caution with how I treat certain things. Because it's possible that over time it's increased to any inflammation site that does any damage to the nerves. My body may attack it and try to scar tissue it or immune response something and continue the damage until I'm able to calm down, or either mentally, physically, whatever the situation is. And that's dangerous. It means I have an extremely ridiculous immune system. Yeah. We'll see. I need to get the tests. I need to proceed with caution. Try and not get hurt. Try and not get overstressed. Just the whole 9 yards forever. Super easy. Yeah. Yes. The lion's mane mushroom is helping me see it better. Like, legitimately, I feel like some of the troubles I was having with concentrating and seeing words and reading sentences and stuff like that, like all of a sudden there's no longer blank spots in my vision. My eyes were working, but it didn't feel like my mind was. Like somewhere along the way, the connection was frayed. Or one of the things wasn't quite working the right way. Or a combination. I'm not aware. But based upon some of these beginning results, those would be my current hypothesis or theory. Theory is subject to change based upon new evidence. If I continue to get better, I am able to see the physical therapy or primary care, get the tests done, and figure out whatever the results are. I want to make sure to go from there. I might need immunosuppressants. I don't really want to, though. Ever be on them. So we'll see how my method works out. I need to start recording after today. Today was the basic, like, some things grew, some things didn't. Shit type deal. Not much was really there. Or I should say yesterday, considering what time it is. So today will be the basic, okay, I need tests, and not take ginger. We'll see how nauseous I get. See what happens to my immune system. See what happens. So far I've already have had an increased output of. So I've increased bowel movement times. Actually, yeah, even speed came out faster, much more complete, feeling much better. Don't sit in for as long. It happened more often. Haven't been doing any like crunches or anything. It just feels like the nerve endings that were attached to the muscles that help those parts of my bowels along have started up again. So yes. You know what? I might have been given certain antibiotics that caused damage to my nerves during a number of these times that caused me to get infections too. And I actually got, antibiotics for it. So yes, I got antibiotics. What I mean to say is that those antibiotics could actually have helped to damage my nerves as well. Huh. I mean, technically speaking, we don't really know the long-term, even short-term effects of some of these things. We just know that we're killing off the bacteria. That's probably not right. They probably know some of the effects. Anyways, at least I hope that's right. I have actually been getting more tired lately. Recognizing my body feeling tired. Me feeling tired. In general. I think the lion's mane mushroom is spectacular. Coming from Paul Stamets' company. I believe I have a lot of nerve damage that significantly disrupted many parts of both my brain and body, gut and brain connection, gut and body connection. I do not know where all of the damage is, how far and extensive it is, or even if there is damage, technically. I am assuming, going based upon how I feel currently, based upon the 2.5, 3 weeks roughly that I have now been on this supplement regimen. I think it's 2.5. And yes, I definitely hope to continue seeing better and better results, or at least strengthening of the results already seen. I would love to not really need to wear my glasses nearly as much, because truthfully, all of a sudden I can start seeing out of my right eye in places I just could not see before. Same with my left eye. I didn't realize how much I was constantly looking at specific ways, almost like those are the only spots inside of my eyes I could actually see at and focused on. I was constantly turning my head so that way I can get the best view. However, when I make sure to go and aim straight with my neck and eyes, dead on, I'm starting to get back some of the focus and clarity again, which is nice. But that also makes me worried. Where did it come from? If it is damage, why is this working? How is this working? And is there anything I can do to make it work better? So yeah. Try and look into some neuroprotectants, some other stuff. Definitely want to try to get into growing my own mushrooms, which I personally happen to believe there could be compounds that are actually, which are the main source of the increased interconnectivity and growth of neural networks. Lion's mane mushroom should be on for a really long time. I don't think I'll ever be off of that. And in fact, I wouldn't mind seeing if increasing the dosage after this month would increase my would increase the results I get, or at least help maintain them too, and help to prevent further issues when flare-ups do occur. It's kind of one of my main hopes, as a slight preventative measure, as it already is, but I want to know if it could actually help with autoimmune problems. If what I have is that, or if it's something else, I don't know. Yes, it's rough. It's rough, and I need to be able to fix it. That's my goal, is to fix the damage. Hope that by fixing the damage, I have a better time returning back to who I was, or who I feel I am. That's locked in there. I feel like there's a lot of damage, and there are a lot of things locked away, as a lot of that damage has occurred, both physically to my nerves and to my neurons and everything else. I don't know if pine gum tree bark powder would be a good idea to be put back onto. However, the ingestion method and total dosage would be significantly less than before. Brand would be definitely different, and hopefully I will be able to find one that does testing and post the results of their testing. Sadly, that always makes it cost more, which might make it not worth it. I do believe pine gum tree bark powder is a well, see, that's the thing. I believe it fires off certain neurons that are more present within the prostate, genitals, and penile glands of adult males, or males in general. It could be Galil, could be some gray matter. I don't really know. All I know is that it definitely seems to increase the output of the carapace fluid, increase sensitivity, overall hardness and impetuosity. It's just like, not impetuosity, but it's just like you even get better feeling. There's a lot to it, which leads me to believe there might be also an expression of certain hormones going on as well that excite these nerves. Could be wrong about that, and I don't know. Yeah, moving on. I believe that could be good due to the extensive damage I've given myself to certain parts of my genital region and anal area as a result of trying to do things and doing them the wrong way. Usually as a result of trauma and mental health issues that were being experienced at the time. Taking things too far because I felt the need to. Self-sabotage. It's almost usually always before something big. So I have to watch out for that with everything coming up. Make sure I don't do that. Yeah, I definitely need to appropriately talk to that doctor and get them to see my side of things. Even if I have to go to other doctors, this will make me feel better and more comfortable moving forward. Something I will not have to worry about. I understand it's time consuming, however, I have time and I'm currently working on my mind. My mind will feel better if I know I'm physically good, or that if there is something wrong, I know what it is and I know at least what I can and can't do. So there's that. As time goes on, it's going to be much more difficult. In certain things, I feel. Because there's going to be a lot of exposing of stuff that I probably don't want to see. I want to just ride the wave, let it go, and enjoy everything that's going to happen. But, stuff is stuff, and what will happen will happen. And I recognize that. I just hope that I recognize that in the moment. Whatever was damaging my central nervous system and caused a lot of the trouble has happened before and most likely will happen again. Which is worrying. But I know. I usually say, oh, well, I can't. No. Then there's that past me that's like, I got a gut feeling about this kind of thing with myself, and I usually know how it's going to work. I trust my gut, and my gut's starting to tell me things again, which I believe to be good, because I haven't been hearing anything from it. if it's feeling full or empty, or if it's actually nauseous, or if it's something else. Like, I don't know. I didn't know what was going on with it, and I'm starting to get feelings from it again. I'm starting to get signals from my stomach again, and my torso in general. I'm like generally getting information about my body coming back into my brain again. And my brain feels like it's old connections that were damaged are finally sending signals back and forth to each other via this outside network neuron thing. Slowly repairing itself, trying to connect in other areas, strengthening and reconfiguring all the time. Oof. It's basically all I did in 2017, wasn't it? Go through memories, trying to find out what I lost, gain back some of the control over my emotions that I had lost. I gave up and decided to be a new me. Just move forward with what I had as my personality. Now, it feels like some of that control is starting to come back rapidly. It's pretty good. It's also scary. So yeah, I want to make sure that I can keep it, whatever it is I have. My personality can get changed drastically with just a little bit of brain damage, nerve damage. I might start looking into that Parkinson's research chemical. A few other things that's out there. Try it out myself. Reduce bad plaques from forming as a result of all these nerve damage. Yeah, I'm gonna need to change some things around. Realizing I might want to change and look up a better version of the sunflower lectin that I'm taking. Make sure it's safer and I'm actually getting what I'm getting. Time to basically that's brain food. The sunflower lectin's brain food. It helps the brain just do shit in combination with some of the other stuff that I'm taking. So yeah. Yeah, I think that's enough. I don't know. Like, I usually want to go for about an hour, but I can't seem to think of anything. I'm pretty tired. Um, it's got me worried about my supplements. It's made me realize I need to make sure that there's not anything there, but mostly just I don't know, get the proper get what I not just the proper dose of the material that I need, but make sure that the supplement, the material thing that I'm getting is actually good for human consumption, meaning free from mercury and heavy metals and other stuff. Um, that's probably a good idea. I might want to increase the dosage just slightly of my sunflower lectin. If this is going on, could be just fine, but if I were to start uh, increasing neuronal connections and other stuff and reinforcing that through good habits that make me feel better, that I can now feel better physically through um, the help of the lion's mane mushroom. Helping my nerves and allowing me to get certain feelings back. Um, those tactile sensations, but also the inside sensations, physical gut, muscle, um, pulse, hot, cold, everything that's there, all at once, sometimes. It's wonderful. So, hoping that, plus phosphatidylcholine is really good for the nerves as well. Um, it basically will try and help out with the nerve sheath as well. However, I believe there needs to be something there really for it to do most of its good work. And I believe it could potentially help in combination with the lion's mane mushroom upon the task of having your body rebuild that myelin sheath and maintain it, doing so in a manner that gives it, at the very least, the same strength and flexibility as before, in a manner that is possibly faster than um, without either of these, or individually. In combination with the L-glutamine, usually expressing nerve endings, making them pop and signal, is along with THC, which also does similar things by increasing nerve ending signaling, reinforcing that yes, this thing is there and is happening. Ashwagandha root for basic adrenal fatigue and hormonal balance, increasing the immune system response, but also helping with repair and energy and self-healing, recovery, stamina. As a result, Damon Leaf is really just libido, if I'm honest, but I felt that there seems to be something else going on, because it's not direct libido. It's not like Pine tree bark powder, where you can just take that, 30 minutes later, you are immediate. Like, it's pretty immediate. In terms of both psyche wanting to start something, but also physically feeling like you want to start doing something. Both either sexually or physically with Pine tree bark powder. Or both. It doesn't have to be exclusive. But yeah, on the other hand, Damon leaf powder seems to be very indirect, very different in terms of how it goes through and accomplishes it. It's not like a Viagra or a Cialis type of situation or anything like that. L-glutamine powder, or not L-glutamine powder, but was it, this is an amino acid, which I think L-glutamine is, that increased nitric oxide. And the only real way that you would actually be able to use it appropriately to do that was if you used it on occasion, made sure to take copper from time to time, and oh yes, you combined it with stuff to help it absorb in your gut, but not just absorb in your gut, but cross the blood-brain barrier. Not just because you need it to get into your blood-brain, but actually because the small capillary vessels would find it a little bit better for you to, anyways. So, yes, moving on. Glutamate powder, or no, the Damon leaf powder seems to work in some other way. I'm honestly not sure, quite new to it. I've been focusing on other things, and there are too many other things going on that I don't really know what the actual, and I didn't read much into the studies based on it. I do know that it seems to affect women more significantly than men in the libido department. So there's that. But yes, I feel like there's something there in the Damon leaf, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with keeping it around as I have it, as far as I can tell. Yeah, so. And then, you know what I forgot earlier? My last journal? Quinidine. That's right, quinidine. 0.2 milligrams. Helps me sleep. And in fact, and it would have put me to sleep too, actually, if I just went to bed, I would have fallen asleep. So, sleep hygiene. Need to get the routine down. Now it's time to get the routine down. Yeah, so I'm hoping, as I was thinking, a slight increase in the both quantity and quality of supplement that I sunflower lectin supplement I use would be potentially beneficial to my endeavors moving forward. However, I have what I have. It's what I'm going to be using. I'll look at it, look into it, but likely nothing's going to change. Pegum tree bark powder isn't going to be added. I might be able to convince them that I'm running low, and I am starting to run low on the lion's mane mushroom, so I would like to increase the dosage of that. I feel that would help speed up the effects, but also help with the overall quality of the effects of lion's mane mushroom. Turmeric does get added with some black pepper from time to time, but it is usually just turmeric now by itself. The feeling of hunger has gone down. I seem to mostly get hungry thanks to the cannabis. The cannabis is starting to control my hunger. It's nice. I believe once I'm finished vaping, which should be fairly soon, so I will no longer have any. And I go back to microdosing. Once I have gotten the powder, I will be moving on to changing that powder to something else. In my cup with some acid. But yeah, I need to write down some things today. I need to write down the list of supplements, medications, times taken, reasons, and everything else. I want that to be on record. I want that to be recorded for everybody that needs it. Yeah, I just need to get things done. It's hopefully not too late. I didn't do too much damage and everything is reversible. And there isn't any heart damage. That's what I hope. What I expect is something different. I expect there to be some damage to my heart. If not to my heart, definitely to my nerves. So I would like to know the extent of it. I would like to know how far and what I can do to help increase my recovery and strength, basically. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, 2019. I think 2019 is really going to be the year that I use to prepare for 2020. I could be wrong and things could be sped up, But I think, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I thought the same thing last year too. Different reasons. If I had to predict, I could only do it after I've had my trip. Right now, expectations are biased. So, as a result, predictions are biased and lopsided, which means they have a heavy potential for being incorrect. So, yeah. Alright. So, yeah, I think that's about right. That's wrapping it up. Good night.